Have you ever noticed this strange pattern? The moment you try to get closer to someone, they suddenly pull away. But as soon as you step back, they come running after you, showing interest again. It feels confusing, right? This back and forth dance is what psychologists call the push-pull cycle of avoidance. And once you understand it, you'll know exactly how to play their game without losing yourself in it. Imagine this: one day they ignore your texts, leaving you questioning whether they even care. You start thinking maybe they're done with you, but the second you stop chasing them and pull your energy back, suddenly they're calling, checking in, or behaving like they can't live without you. That whiplash, close one moment, distant the next, isn't random. It's a cycle, and it's designed to keep you hooked. The dangerous part: this push-pull cycle messes with your emotions. You end up doubting yourself, questioning your worth, and spending endless hours decoding their mixed signals. One day they make you feel like the most important person in their world, and the next, they act like you barely exist. Being caught in this cycle feels like riding an emotional roller coaster you never signed up for. But here's the secret: you're not powerless. The truth is, avoidants play this game because of their fear of intimacy and loss of control. Once you understand why they do it, and how the cycle works, you'll realize that the real power lies in your response. In this video, I'm going to break down the push-pull cycle step by step, so you can stop feeling trapped, stop being played, and finally learn how to turn their own game back on them. Let me paint you a picture. You send them a text, maybe something simple like "How's your day going?" Hours pass. No reply. You keep checking your phone, wondering if you said something wrong, or maybe they're just too busy. Slowly that silence starts to eat at you. You feel ignored, unimportant. But then the moment you stop checking, stop caring, maybe even decide, "Fine, I won't message them again," suddenly your phone lights up. It's them, not only replying, but calling, acting like they've missed you all along. And just like that, you're pulled back in. Sound familiar? That's the classic push-pull cycle. When you reach out, they pull away. When you step back, they rush in. It's like a game of emotional tug-of-war, where you're left exhausted, but they always seem to have the upper hand. Here's another scenario. You make plans with them, and at the last minute they cancel. You feel let down, maybe even question if they care at all. But a few days later, when you've shifted your focus and stopped chasing, they suddenly show up, extra attentive, showering you with affection, saying all the right things. And for a while, it feels good again, until the cycle repeats. What makes this so painful is the inconsistency. You never know what version of them you're going to get: the warm, affectionate one who pulls you close, or the cold, distant one who pushes you away. That unpredictability keeps you hooked, because your brain starts craving the pull moments even more after every push. And here's the truth: it's not that you're crazy, or needy, or imagining things. This cycle is real, and it's designed consciously or unconsciously to keep you chasing their approval. The closer you get, the more they panic. The moment you pull away, they fear losing you. So the game continues. If you've ever felt stuck in this dance, confused, drained, yet unable to walk away, you're not alone. Countless people have been caught in the same pattern. But here's the good news: once you can see this cycle for what it is, you can start to break free from it. So, what exactly is the push-pull cycle? At its core, it's an unconscious pattern of behavior, especially common in avoidant personalities, where closeness and distance are constantly shifting. In simple terms, it's when someone pulls you close one moment, only to push you away the very next. Think of it as an emotional dance. Step forward, step back. Intimacy, distance, connection, withdrawal, over and over again. To you it feels unpredictable, but for the avoidant, it's their default way of relating. It's not random, it's a strategy. Here's why avoidants fear intimacy. Deep down, closeness feels dangerous to them. When someone gets too close, it triggers anxiety, so they instinctively push that person away to protect themselves. But at the same time, they also fear abandonment. So when you finally step back or pull away, they panic about losing you, and that's when they rush back in, pulling you close again. This cycle creates a powerful loop. When they push you away, you feel rejected and want to chase them. When they pull you back, you feel relief and hope, like maybe things will finally stabilize. But the truth is, the cycle keeps repeating. And the more it repeats, the deeper you get hooked, because your brain starts craving that inconsistent reward, the unpredictable mix of rejection and affection. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, the same principle casinos use with slot machines. You don't win every time, but you win just enough to keep playing. With avoidance, you don't get love consistently, but you get it in bursts, just enough to keep you invested in the game. So when we talk about the push-pull cycle, we're not just talking about mixed signals or hard to get. We're talking about a deeply ingrained attachment pattern, a subconscious push to protect themselves from vulnerability, and a pull to avoid complete disconnection. And here's the kicker, until you recognize it for what it is, you'll always feel like the problem is you. Like you're too needy, too clingy, or never enough. But once you see the cycle clearly, you realize it's not about your worth, it's about their fear. Now you might be wondering, why do avoidants even do this? Why create such a confusing push-pull cycle instead of just being consistent? The answer lies in psychology, in the way they've learned to relate to love and connection. For avoidants, closeness feels like danger. Deep down, intimacy triggers fear. It's not that they don't want connection on some level, they crave it like anyone else. But the moment someone gets too close, their nervous system interprets it as a threat. It makes them feel like they're losing control, like they'll be swallowed up or worse, hurt. This often comes from early experiences and attachment wounds. Maybe they grew up in an environment where love wasn't safe, where vulnerability was punished, or where caregivers were emotionally distant. As children, they learned if I depend on people, I'll get hurt. So as adults, their protective instinct is to keep walls up. But here's the paradox. While they fear closeness, they also fear abandonment. They don't want to lose the people they care about. So when you pull away, it awakens a different fear. The fear of being left behind. That's when they suddenly rush back, pulling you close again. In short, push happens when they fear being trapped. Pull happens when they fear being left. And underlying all of this is a strong need for control. Avoidants feel safest when they decide the distance, when they control the rhythm of the relationship. By pushing and pulling, they manage both of their fears, avoiding too much intimacy, while also avoiding complete abandonment. The heartbreaking part is, they don't usually do this consciously. It's an unconscious pattern, rooted in survival. But for the person on the receiving end, it feels like emotional chaos. So when you see an avoidant pulling you close one moment and pushing you away the next, remember, it's not about you being too much or not enough. It's about their inner conflict, a battle between wanting love and fearing it at the same time. Let's talk about the part that often gets ignored, the effect this cycle has on you. Because being caught in a push-pull dynamic doesn't just confuse you in the moment. It starts to change the way you see yourself. At first you might brush it off. They pull away. You think, okay, maybe they're just busy. But as it keeps happening, ignored messages, cancelled plans, cold silences, followed by sudden bursts of affection, you start to feel unstable. You begin to wonder, did I do something wrong? Am I too needy? Am I not enough for them? That's the dangerous trap of the push-pull cycle. It makes you feel like the problem. Their inconsistency creates self-doubt, and that self-doubt eats away at your confidence. Before you know it, you're walking on eggshells, adjusting your behavior, shrinking yourself just to avoid being pushed away again. Emotionally, it's exhausting. Your nervous system is constantly on high alert, waiting for the next shift. Will they be warm today or cold? Will they text back quickly, or leave you hanging? That unpredictability keeps you hooked, but it also drains you. You end up spending more time analyzing their actions than enjoying the relationship. And the most painful part, you start losing sight of your own worth. Instead of asking, is this relationship healthy for me? You start asking, how can I be better so they won't push me away? That shift from valuing yourself to constantly proving yourself is what makes the cycle so damaging. Here's the truth. You're not too much. You're not unworthy. You're not imagining things. The confusion you feel is real because the cycle itself is designed to create confusion. It's not your fault. You're simply reacting to mixed signals that would destabilize anyone. Recognizing the toll it takes on you is the first step toward breaking free, because once you see the impact clearly, you stop blaming yourself, and you start questioning whether this game is one you even want to keep playing. Here's the truth. The push-pull cycle may feel like a game, but the point isn't to beat them or get revenge. The real power comes when you understand the rules and stop letting the game control you. See, every time they pull you close, your instinct is to relax, to think, finally things are good again. And every time they push you away, your instinct is to panic, to chase, to question your worth. That emotional roller coaster is what keeps you stuck. But here's the insight that changes everything. You don't have to ride that roller coaster. Playing their game doesn't mean manipulating them. It means stepping back, watching the pattern for what it is, and refusing to get pulled into it emotionally. When they pull you close, enjoy it, but don't make it your only source of validation. When they push you away, notice it, but don't let it trigger desperation or self-blame. This is what awareness looks like. You stop reacting blindly, and you start responding with clarity. Think of it like this. If they're tugging on a rope, expecting you to pull back, you simply drop the rope. No resistance, no struggle, no chasing. That's how you flip the dynamic. Suddenly the power shifts, because the cycle can't continue without your emotional participation. And here's the most empowering part. Once you see the game, you realize you were never weak. You were just caught in a pattern you didn't understand. With awareness and detachment, you stop being a player in their cycle and start being the one who decides how you want to engage. The avoidance push-pull only works if you take the bait. The moment you stop letting their actions dictate your emotions, the game loses its grip. That's not revenge. That's freedom. Alright, so you understand the cycle. You understand why avoidants do it. And you understand how it affects you. Now the big question is, what can you actually do about it? Let me give you 3 powerful practical steps that you can start using right away. Step 1. Stay centered. The most important thing you can do is separate your self-worth from their mood swings. When they're warm and affectionate, it feels amazing. When they suddenly go cold, it feels crushing. But here's the shift. Their behavior is not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their fear and patterns. Every time you remind yourself of this, you reclaim emotional balance. You stop being tossed around like a leaf in their storm, and you start standing like a tree, steady, rooted, unshaken. Step 2. Match their energy. This doesn't mean playing games. It means respecting your own boundaries. If they're pulling away and creating distance, don't chase. Take that as your signal to also step back and focus on yourself. If they lean in, you can meet them there, but on your terms. This creates balance, because you're no longer the one overgiving or overchasing. You're matching energy, not overcompensating. That small shift keeps the power in your hands. Step 3. Choose clarity over chaos. Instead of getting trapped in the back and forth, get clear about what you want. Ask yourself, what kind of connection do I actually deserve? What are my non-negotiables? When you define your standards, the push-pull cycle loses its grip, because you're no longer bending yourself to fit into someone else's inconsistent behavior. You're grounded in what you will and will not accept. When you combine these 3 steps, staying centered, matching energy, and choosing clarity, you stop being a passive participant in their game. You start setting the rhythm of your own life. And once you do that, you'll notice something powerful. Avoidants either rise to meet your standards, or they naturally drift away. Either way, you win, because you've chosen yourself. So here's the bottom line. The push-pull cycle with avoidance may look like a game, but the real power is realizing you don't have to keep playing by their rules. You get to decide how you show up, how much energy you give, and what standards you set for yourself. When you step back and see the pattern clearly, something shifts. Suddenly their push doesn't sting the same way. Their pull doesn't make you lose yourself in false hope, because you're not living for their approval anymore. You're living by your own rules, and that's the real win. Not controlling them, not fixing them, but choosing you, choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and self-respect over games. Once you claim that, the cycle loses its power. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been stuck in this push-pull dynamic with someone in your life? Did this breakdown make things clearer for you? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one, and your experience might help someone else who feels stuck right now. If you found value in this video, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into relationships and psychology. Remember, awareness is the first step, action is the second. You're not here to be trapped in someone else's cycle. You're here to create your own rhythm, your own rules, your own peace, and that journey starts with you, today.